Bueno. All right, we got the green light. Good morning, Kim and Kyle. Today, we're going to do something a little different. So we're going to work on your neck, and we're going to work on your scapula. So normally we do hips on Tuesdays, but I thought we would add a little variety because I think that we have hammered home, and we probably have to hammer home even more over the course of this class, how important hips and spine and shoulders are, but so is other stuff like your neck. So we're going to do a little bit of neck stuff today, and we're going to do a little bit of scap stuff today. So if you've ever had that really bad sensation on your sort of upper back, sort of between your shoulder blades, where you feel like you have a rib out, I don't know if you've had that sensation. I've had that a lot, and it feels really uncomfortable. It's often the case tissue closer to the spine, like your rhomboids or neck tissue. So we're going to focus on that to start, and then we're going to move up to working on some neck stuff. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to face the side like so. So I have my right arm. I'm going to go underneath my leg. I'm going to grab my bicep on the other side. And then I'm going to use my leg and stomp down such that am I frozen?
My screen's frozen.
We're frozen.
No, you're good.
We're
You can't
good?
always trust this.
Okay, okay. You can see that. All right. I'm going to stomp down. There I am. I'm going to stomp down, and as I do that, I'll end up pulling my scapula around the rib cage, okay? So if I'm here like this and I have my grip, and then I just start to stomp like I'm trying to bring my heel to the floor, I will feel this little pulling motion on my humerus here and my forearm, which is wedged under my hamstring, and that should pull my scapula into protraction, okay? So take a second, because it's a very small motion. The screen just went black now.
I got you.
You guys can still see me, so.
Yeah.
It's a very small motion, but you're trying to think, if you know where your midline is, and you know where your spine segments are, pull scapula away from those spine segments, okay? And again, I do that by stomping my leg down, so my leg looks like it's on the floor, but it's just hovering off the floor. And then I can also do that, instead of moving scapula away from spine, I can also move spine away from scapula. So how would I do that? Well, I would start to rotate my trunk this way, okay? Because as I do that, this scapula continues to get pulled around the rib cage this way, okay? So we have our anchor point on the forearm that's going to pull the humerus forward. And then I also have an ability to rotate my trunk such that I'm pulling my scapula away from midline even more, okay? So do a little combination of those two until you feel like you have a good stretch going through your scapula or through tissue that attaches on the inside of the scapula. Okay? Now, once we have that, let's try to keep the scapula protracted, and we're going to try to shrug. So you can see how you really can't move a lot here, but I'm going to try to shrug my scapula up towards my ear. Oh, this is very sticky, and then I'm going to try to pull it back down, which is probably going to feel a little easier. I'm going to shrug up to my ear. I feel a lot of tissue tension there, and then all the way down to my back pocket. Okay, 3 more. Coming up, pulling all the way down, back up to ear. Again, really trying to pull into that end range where you feel like it's not moving. Back down. One more time. Shoulder blade to ear. All the way down. Okay? Now, reestablishing that stretch through my scapula. Reestablish that rotation if you need to. What we're going to try to do now is we're going to do a pales and rails for scapular protraction. So my pales, since I'm in end range, is going to be me trying to retract my shoulder blade. I'm going to try to do that, okay? But I'm keeping this grip. So when I do that, I'm running into my leg, and the weight of my leg isn't going to let me go anywhere. Then for my rails, what I'm going to try to do, again, pretend my leg is over my arm here, is I'm going to try to punch further forward. Okay, and wrap myself around, wrap my scapula around my rib cage. Try not to do this, Okay, this is just spine flexion. Okay, so it'll feel maybe like you're doing scapular protraction, but you're just flexing your spine. Okay, so find that stretch, below that stretch. I've got a pretty big stretch right here. And now I'm going to slowly take a breath in. I'm going to start to retract and try to pull my scapula towards my midline. It shouldn't go anywhere because of the grip I have. 10, we're going to hold this. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We're going to hold for another 5. Really trying to retract that scapula. 4, 3, 2, and now we're going to protract. Trying to drive your elbow into your calf. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. You may feel pec minor, which is going to feel like your pec is contracted on the front side of your trunk. 5, 4, 3, 2. Go ahead and reestablish your grip. Slowly relax. If you're just joining us, we are doing scapular protraction, pails and rails. So try to match my setup here by grabbing on underneath your hamstring and grabbing under your bicep, okay? So now we're gonna in range. I'm gonna see if I can bow a little more stretch here. You'll notice I'm moving my trunk ever so slightly, and I get a good amount of stretch right there. So I'm gonna hang out right here. Again, in the interest of time and class and such, we're gonna go right into our pails rails, but normally I'd have you spend a little more time there.
So Jonathan, you're gonna wanna protract your shoulder blade a bunch. We're aiming to work on the shoulder blade. Use your leg to pull your shoulder blade forward.
Good. All right, take a breath in, pack that air down, start to protract. Start to retract. So try to pull on your hamstring with your forearm like you're trying to pull your shoulder blade towards your midline, but don't let it go anywhere. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Try to hold for 5 more, hard as you can. 4, 3, 2, and rails contraction. Again, trying to pull your elbow actively using the front side of your trunk. So there's tissue there that attaches to the scapula. That's like your pec stuff, okay? Try to protract more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly relax. We'll go right into 5 reps. Shoulder blade to ear, shoulder blade back down. Give me 5 of those nice and slow. Again, trying to pull up as high as you can so you feel all that tissue come under tension. And back down. Again, shouldn't feel super, super easy as you try to elevate with this wedge. That's 3 for me, all the way down. Again, picking the same speed the whole time. So let's say I'm locked in at 1 mile an hour. I stay 1 mile an hour as I move. So I don't speed up or slow down. Last one for me here, up and all the way down. Okay, I'm gonna come out of this position. Oh, we'll be in an L sit. I'm gonna have my hand, or I can cross my legs or keep my legs straight, whatever you want. Hand on the floor here. Keep your hand here. Keep your elbow from bending. Okay, you're gonna give me 2 scapular cars in each direction so I can mirror this on my other side, or ideally, if you feel like you have some good control, you want to challenge yourself, just do your right side. So I'm going to press down. I'm going to punch forward. There's my protraction. I'm going to shrug. My hand will come off the floor a little bit. That's fine. I'm going to retract. I'm going to come back down to press, palm to floor. Protract. Elevate. Retract. Pull all the way down. Okay, we're going to rewind. Again, same speed the whole time. Retract, elevate, protract, down, retract, elevate, protract, and down. Now, watch carefully. Other side. I haven't had any coffee today, so sorry if I'm a little more ADD. All right, same thing on the other side. So again, if you were just joining us in the last, for the last one, you didn't get the full thing. Under my hamstring, I stomp down towards the floor. and you can see this little protraction motion happen, okay? It may not be a lot for some of you if you don't have a lot of protraction, but you should still feel like somebody's trying to rip your scapula off your spine, okay? I like to grab my bicep and then over top of the leg like that, okay? But if you wanted to do another grip, like a gable grip, whatever's comfortable, okay? From here, I'm gonna stomp. I can also add a little rotation, and I get a big stretch there. Once I feel like I've got a good spot, again, the goal is to pull the scapula away from the midline. I'm gonna try, oh, this side's pretty sticky, to bring my shoulder to my ear, okay? 5 times. Every time you do a rep, trying to squeeze out a little more range. Elevate, down, all the way down. Again, working a little bit harder in the elevation position, which will feel a little tougher. That's 3 for me. And back up, 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 making sure the other side doesn't move. But when you get to that end range, just try to hang out there, squeeze a little longer. 1 more. Very, very sticky. And down. Now from here, reestablish that stretch. So again, I can rotate, I can stomp my leg or straighten my leg more and really pull, right? So I'm pulling, you can see my head moving, but I'm trying to move that scapula. Okay, so I got a ton of stretch right here. Now from here, we're gonna take a breath in. We're gonna start to try to retract the scapula, just create tissue contraction through the middle of the back, through the scapula, but no motion happens, okay? So make that leg heavy. Breath in, irradiate, and start to retract. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and hold nice and strong for 5, 4, 3, 2. Now for my rails contraction, my elbow is going to try to drive down towards my calf, towards my heel, towards the floor. So active protraction, you'll feel tissue on the front side of your trunk to accomplish that. Squeeze hard. 7, keep going. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Slowly relax. Again, the reason we're leading with our elbows is because our arm is bent, right? If my arm was straight, I would have you try to protract just by reaching forward, okay? We're still technically reaching forward, but I'm just reaching forward with my elbow, okay? 1 more. Again, feel free to adjust. Get into that end range. Pull back so that you get a nice big stretch on that scapula. Breath in, pack that air down. Start to retract. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and we're holding strong for 5, 4, 3, 2, protract. Again, lead with that elbow. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew, in that end range, shrug and anti-shrug. Okay, 5 times. Again, pick the same speed. Yes, you should try to keep the shoulder protracted. So we're going into 3 positions technically. Protraction and elevation. Well, protraction the whole time, protraction and elevation, protraction and depression. Okay? Try not to side bend like I just caught myself doing. Try to just move the scapula on a still spine. 3. All the way up, all the way down. Number 4. Ooh, this side is really tender. And number 5. Oh man. Hand on the floor. Scapular cars for 2 reps in each direction. Remember, try not to bend the elbow. The hand will come up. That's totally fine. Okay? Straight legs, bent legs, whatever you want. I'm going to punch forward just one side. I'm going to elevate. I'm going to retract, trying to keep my hand right by my side. Depress. Protract. Elevate. Retract. Depress. I'm going to rewind. Retract. Elevate. Protract. Press. Again, try not to teleport through positions or transitions. Keep the same steady pace the whole time. All right, and we're going to move on to some neck stuff. So, if your shoulder blades feel pretty sticky like mine do, I really need to work on that more. That's a great setup that you can do with your body. So, again, you don't really need a lot. Also, if you have those really nasty sensations that people get where they feel like they have ribs out. So for our neck, what we're going to do is we're going to try to just work on opening up some tissue via Pales contraction. So we are not going to do rails contractions for the neck. We are just going to do some stretching and some Pales contractions. When we do our stretching and our Pales contractions, we're just going to try to get a little more particular. So it's going to look like I'm taking my head and I'm just pulling it forward, okay? I don't want you to just do that, even though that's what it's going to look like. Let me just change my position here. What I want you to do is I want you to think of your head as a bowling ball, and you're going to try to roll the bowling ball down a wall, okay? And I guess what I'm trying to convey with that is you want to try to get uniform flexion. So when I just drop my head like this, I kind of just end up hinging at one or a few segments, okay, in my cervical spine. So what we want to try to do is if you could pull your head off and detach your head from your corpse, which wouldn't be good, you want to think of like you're trying to roll so that your eyes end up looking all the way behind you, and then they would end up looking back towards the ceiling, and then there's this rotational bowling ball type feeling. So when I grab onto the back of my head and I start to bring myself down, I want you to think of bringing your chin in. So I'm also retracting my head. I'll face this way. You don't have to do this with your hand, but if it helps, you're retracting and then you're pulling, okay? So like if I could lift my chin and like put it in my throat, I would do that, okay? Now, as you pull on your head, you don't have to look up, but just give me a thumbs up if you feel a lot of stretch on the back side of the neck, okay? Good. Again, if I just go here, maybe I'll get some work done, but it's not as specific. We want to try to get as much opening of those cervical facet joints as we can. So let's go both hands, or one hand, whatever you prefer. Try to roll your chin in and back as I come forward. And I got a pretty good stretch here. And then I want you to just hang out. We're just going to breathe. So my chin should almost be running into my manubrium or my sternum, okay, that kind of breastplate. Or my tissue should be stopping me from going any further. Again, if I can scoop my chin up and in and flex more, I get a lot more stretch, okay? Now, the Pales contraction is going to be the exact same in the opposite direction. So I'm going to try to extend my neck, but I'm going to try to do it just like when I was doing my flexion. So try to segmentally extend. So let's take a breath in. I want you to give me a 1. So give me your lowest level Pales contraction. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. I'll just slowly relax. If I can take that arm and I want to try to wedge again that chin up and in anymore and get more flexion, please do so. Again, 1 or 2 arms. Now you're going to give me a 2. So breath in, Pales contraction, 10, 9, that same segmental extension. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly relax. 1 more here. Find that stretch, find that in range. 1 more. Breath in. Pales contraction. Stay at it 2. So nice low level. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and slowly relax that head. If it feels really light and floaty. Was that intense? Yeah. Just keep your fingers crossed that you don't ever have a neck problem because they're really nasty to deal with. So do neck cars, stretch your neck, stretch it in a segmented way, do hinge point training if you know what that is. Okay, so now what we're gonna do from here is I'm just gonna put my arms here so I can aim my fingers or my chin to my fingers. Okay, I'm gonna anti-shrug my shoulders and we're just gonna work flexion. So just what I did passively, now I'm gonna do actively. So I'm gonna try to touch my nose to my manubrium. Flex, 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 slowly relax, come back up. Okay, I'm gonna retract my head a little bit like if there was a wall behind me. Flex, flex, flex. All the way down as far as I can. And relax. Okay, one more. Retract, pull down. Flex, flex, flex. And relax. Okay? Now, the reason we're doing flexion stuff is because that's the fundamental motion of the cervical spine. But a lot of people don't do, if you do your neck cars and you know your rotation and your lateral flexion and you know how crappy that feels, we're going to work a little bit of that. So we're going to take a grip right above the ear, okay, on the opposite side of your head. And what I want you to try to think of is there's a big tissue that'll pop out. So if you actually turn your head to the side, you can feel this big ropey tissue. That's your sternocleidomastoid or your SCM that goes from right here, so that sternoclavicular joint, and it goes up to the mastoid process behind the ear. So again, if I turn my head really hard, I can feel that tissue start to contract, and I can kind of trace that up, and it just feels like this big ropey bulge. So when we reach and we grab, I want you to think of trying to pull on tissue such that tissue that we just identified, that SCM and everything behind that, you're going to try to open that tissue up. So some people may need to come into more flexion. Some people may need to come into more like extension. But I want you to try to find stretch on the side of your neck. Okay, and then all we're going to do from here, so boom, I've got a big stretch now on the side of my neck. Same thing, give me a 1. You're just going to resist that hand. So just match that level 1 with your hand. 10 seconds, hold nice and strong. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We'll slowly relax. Again, regrip if you need to regrip. Okay, same thing here. Give me a 2, 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax again. If you don't get any more length, just stay right where you are. You're going to give me a 3 here, just so you feel what a 3 feels like. Go ahead, start to press down with that hand, resist with the head. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and slowly relax. Okay, so these are more positional isometrics. Woo, floaty head again. Opposite side. Again, if you need to, you can turn hard, feel that ropey tissue. Grab, right? I'm trying to landmark tissue where we just landmarked. Everything behind that is fair game as well. And again, even if you don't know anatomy, just try to feel where you start to feel those nasty stretch sensations. Okay, this one I get a little bit more in the back of the neck. Okay. So same thing here without changing position. 10 seconds. Match resistance with the hand and the head. Again, low level. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, trying to relax. You probably won't get any more length, so just stay right there. Breath in, give me a 2, resist. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, relax again. Giving me a 3 here, so we feel what that feels like. Breath in and resist. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and slowly relax. Okay, so again, these are more positional isometrics, but just so you feel, which I'm hoping you feel, and if you don't, that's fine, but just how sensitive these areas are. Okay, but they're connective tissue based, so they're going to respond to isometrics. Now we're going to go through our full neck car. So We're going to retract. We're going to pull the chin down. I'm going to rotate, trace a clavicle, look all the way over a shoulder. I want to simultaneously laterally flex, so bring my ear behind that shoulder as I try to get into more extension. I'm going to go into lateral flexion on the other side, rotate over the other shoulder, bring my chin down to my clavicle, come back to center. You can use your arms to grab your legs and anti-shrug those shoulders. Okay, other direction. Chin down, rotate, lateral flex and extend. Try not to tip your trunk. Lateral flex on the other side, rotate, come forward, okay? One more each direction, but you're gonna keep a quick drill in mind. If you look to the right, keep looking to the right, keep trying to turn your head to the right, and keep trying to turn your head to the right. Every time I asked you to do that, you turned your head a little more. So now think about that through the entire car, okay? So don't just go where you think you can go. Try to keep asking, okay, can I go any further? Can I go any further? Okay, that's my full rightward rotation, okay? So one more each direction on your own. I'm going to flexion, but at every single point, I'm going to try to ask myself if I can pull into more range. Rotate. Ear over shoulder. Extend. Ear over the other shoulder. Rotate, back down to center, rewind, rotate to the left, you're over the left shoulder, you're over the right shoulder, rotate, and come back to center. Okay, last thing we're gonna do is some fundamental neck stuff, a little more complex here. You can do this standing. I'm gonna do it on the floors because so I can have some contact with the back of my head, but if it helps to see it this way on the floor, just know that you're gonna be doing it the same way seated. So I'm gonna tip my chin up, okay? We call this extension, okay? If I tip my chin down, we call this flexion, okay? So how we're going to start is we're going to flex, and you're going to think of doing a sit-up with your throat. So I'm going to flex, and I'm going to start to bring my neck up, 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 up. Once I get as far flexed as I can, I'm going to tip like I'm a Pez dispenser, and I'm going to go into extension. As the top of my head hits the floor, I'm going to start to isometrically drive my head into the floor and scrape my head back down into flexion. It's hard to talk like that. Okay, but one more time. I'm going to flex, chin down. I'm going to come up off the floor. I'm going to extend, pull my head back into the floor. Keep pulling my head into the floor as I come back into flexion. Okay? You're going to give me 3 of these reps, nice and slow, so I'll walk you through it. So, start to flex. Again, push my head back into the floor as I bring my chin down. I'm going to bring my chin up. Flex, 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 flex. Keep flexing, keep flexing, keep flexing. And start to extend. Okay, so try to get the crown of my head to the floor. I hit the floor, I drive my neck into the floor. As I then try to pull myself back into flexion. I like hearing my voice change, this is so funny. 2 more, coming up, extend. You'll feel like you're just doing sit-ups for your neck. Push into the floor, flex, 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 flex. Coming up off the floor one more time. Extend. And then pull the crown of that head into the floor. Tip your chin down. And you can relax. So you can do this both on the floor and seated up on a wall, all right? So if I just back myself into a wall and use the wall behind me, it's the same idea. So that might not be as exciting as working on your hips and your shoulders, but I promise you, for you folks that work at computers, which is such a rare thing these days, you probably want to do a little bit of this, or maybe you want to do a lot of this. But you know, just like with any position, we just sit in these positions all day. and then our tissues just go away and don't allow us to get into other ranges of motion. So take little pieces of this, practice them on your own. As somebody who's had neck injuries, they're really not fun. Although you're definitely you're in a better place if you don't do crazy sports like we do here, where we get thrown on our heads and people try to choke us in jiu-jitsu, although that's not really happening right now. But in any case, thank you all for joining. Happy Tuesday. Announcements from the gang.
Bodyweight training at 5 o'clock. Join us. And then 6 o'clock, we got Simple and Sinister continue. See you at 6, Kyle. That's what you're saying? See you then. Tell your friends also. We got Strong Start. It's tomorrow at 5 o'clock. It's free for the semester also. And that's all the beginner training so that everyone knows what they're doing with the kettlebells so they can train safely and join our other classes. Or just train on your own if that's what your goal is. But we are here to help in the Strong Start. Join us at 5 tomorrow. And then we'll be running more mobility at 11 on Thursday. Join us again then. Have a great day.
Kim says, thank you, Alex.
Thanks for joining, y'all.
Everyone. Good to see you, Jonathan. Good to see you, Sang.
Same. See you, Jonathan.
It's a
Kim.
cool little studio that Sang has.
Mhm.